Hello and welcome to Matchday Matinee, and today we have our first ever season draft to determine what films we're going to watch next season. I'm your host Adam, and today I'm joined by the man who wishes Jurgen Klopp was his dad. It's Raghav. How's it going, mate?
It is going amazing. The celebrations have been going for a week and a half. Liverpool are champions of England. Finally, in the first time in my life, I can say that. Just over the moon, and really just been enjoying the last week, and I'm enjoying enjoy this draft too.
And I'm joined by the man who is asking the question, is MLS back? Mark, how are you doing?
Good. Been anticipating MLS, but I've also committed to watching more Premier League this season, so I can drop some knowledge hints with you guys when we do chat. And every year I tell myself that, but now with the lockdown and stay-at-home orders, I actually do have the time to watch it. So I don't know, man. Man United looking pretty good. Bruno Fernandes is leading the attack there.
Bruno Fernandes is incredible.
I
had to get him in my fantasy team. Like, he is ripping it up. He's suddenly made Pogba a better player.
Pogba wants to stay now, so.
Yeah, Matic, their holding midfielder, who couldn't do anything before the break, is suddenly like indispensable and got a new contract. It's all because of Fernandes.
Yeah.
Like, he's insane. It makes you think if they'd have signed him earlier in the season, he could have actually been a contender. At least not a contender at the very top, but at least like second or third spot.
Yeah, it's another chance chasing the Champions League spot, so that's exciting. So still something to watch. And then if the MLS back tournament does happen, which who knows?
At this point.
Yeah, that'll be exciting too. TFC has a real shot this year, so it'll be good.
I'm glad you guys are excited about football, because I'm kind of not at the moment. Portsmouth lost their playoff game last night on penalties against Oxford. Possibly the worst game of football I've ever watched. The quality was just not there, and then to lose on penalties was just horrendous. And the highlight of the game was that despite being behind closed doors, some Portsmouth fans did actually go and watch by piling up a stack of pallets on the back of a pickup and sitting on the pallets and watching over the corner of the stand.
I saw that. I saw some pictures on Twitter where they were actually directly looking into the stadium from outside.
Yeah.
I guess they were a little bit elevated. Yeah.
And the car park and the stand's like smaller, right? One of the stands. So yeah. Good effort. A bit strange.
I've been following all your Twitter rants, so.
Yeah. Everyone wants the manager's called Kenny Jackett. Everyone wants him out. It's not a good look at the moment.
Christian Burgess has gone too now?
Christian Burgess left to go to a second division Belgian team.
The only reason I'm familiar with that name is because I play as Portsmouth on FIFA. And
of course, yeah.
Unlike what happened yesterday, I got them promoted. So
yeah, it's hard. It's like 2 years in a row we've lost in the playoffs. Last year we didn't show up against Sunderland, and then this year penalties. It's pretty brutal. Anyway, enough about my tribulations of supporting a lower league football team. As I said, we are here for the draft today. So we kind of need to explain a little bit to the listeners kind of how that's going to work. Just so that everyone can kind of follow along as they listen and watch at home. So we wanted to try and divide out a little bit so that we don't end up clumping together all of the best films and just pick everything we want to watch, because I don't want by the time we get to season 6 that we're just watching dog movies, because there's enough of them to fill a season, believe it or not. So we kind of came up with some tier rules, some rules how we can pick kind of. So I'll just quickly run through them. So we have a list of tier 1 movies, which I collated. So they are the best ranked movies according to Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Movie Database, because some I struggled to find scores for, so I kind of had to search all over the place. So you can have one tier 1 movie, you can have one foreign language movie, one Netflix movie, and then one pick from anything that's not in those categories already. And just to make things a bit more fun, if anyone wants to go crazy, I have a huge list that will pick out a random one from things that aren't in those lists. So you can play a wild card and go for it and just let the gods decide what we're going to watch. Some films do fall into multiple categories, so that might play havoc as we go along because people might pick each other's films. But we'll kind of see. In terms of how we're going to do the order, we already decided as a reward for me being Trivia King, the Guard of Honor. It didn't end at the Guard of Honor on episode 12. It was actually, there was a prize at stake, and it was being the first draft picker. And then I have a coin here because you guys drew at trivia. So I'm going to flip the coin. And Ragav, seeing as you're the lucky man at the moment, champion, I'll let you pick heads or tails.
I'll go with heads.
It is tails, I'm afraid.
Ooh,
So Mark will be picking second.
not so lucky.
So without further ado,
And
we're
win
not
them all,
going to...
Regev.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've decided to go the exact opposite of North American sports, where we're now rewarding the winner with the first draft pick,
That's true.
instead of either of us tanking for the first draft pick. So I kind of like the way this is going.
It's true. And who knows, after one round, all of our best laid plans could be in complete ruin, depending on what we pick first up, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I will go number one pick. I went for something a little bit different. So my number one pick of a tier one movie is The Keeper, which is brackets Trutman. So The Keeper is a British-German biographical film directed by Marcus H. Rossenmuller. And it is a love story of a young English woman and a German prisoner of war who together overcome prejudice, public hostility, and personal tragedy. So I picked this one because I thought it would be super interesting to do a English football film that's also not necessarily focusing on an Englishman. I only vaguely know this story, that Trutman was a POW and then ended up signing for Manchester City, but basically faced a lot of prejudice along the way because he was a German and he signed for them like right after the Second World War.
Right.
So it's like super interesting. So that's why I picked that one.
Cool.
So
Very
first in the bag, Mark, your second pick.
All right.
Your first pick, second movie.
My first pick, second movie from tier one. And before I pick my movie, I want to say, Adam, thanks a lot for curating the list that we had to choose from. I know that was a ton of work.
Just did it whilst my wife was watching garbage TV. Just sat there, like, she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, nothing.
Beautiful. So as I alluded to at the top of the show, I'm going to try and commit more time to watching the Premier League this year. So I thought, what better way to pull into that than pick United. So for my first pick, I'm going with United. It's based on the true story of the Busby Babes, legendary Manchester United side, and it was the youngest side to ever win the Football League. And of course, that ties into the 1958 Munich air crash that claimed 8 members of the team. So yeah, a little bit of a history lesson on the team that I'm kind of committing to this year. So my first pick, United.
That's interesting. I don't know that much about it. I just know like the aftermath of it and kind of how a lot of people became Man United fans because of that incident. Like, it kind of brought them a lot of sympathy, right? So it'd be cool to learn more about the actual event.
It's good reviews. It has David Tennant in it, so it should be a good film.
Okay, Ragav, your third to pick, your tier one movie. What is it going to be?
So it's interesting. So I'm just going to talk you through my process a little bit.
Go for it. Yeah.
I thought at least 2 of the 3 movies I had would have got picked by either of you two.
Okay.
Which they didn't, surprisingly. So now I'm in a little bit of a kerfuffle of, do I want to pick a movie that is of interest to me? Do I want to pick a movie that's been repeatedly asked for on Twitter by at least one user? Or do I want to pick a movie that's just totally different, but a super hit? And I think, we've got 2 English films, I believe, right? Which, so what I'm going to do is, as my first pick, I am going to pick Shaolin Soccer.
Ooh.
I am not a huge fan of this movie whatsoever, but it is different, and it's something that's been a super hit in Hong Kong. So this was at the time in 2004 the number 1 grossing movie on the island of Hong Kong. And yeah, just took the world by storm. But a basic synopsis of it is that a former Shaolin monk reunites his 5 brothers years after his master's death to apply their superhuman martial arts skills to play football and bring Shaolin Kung Fu to the masses. So an interesting concept, very out there in terms of...
It's different for sure.
The superhuman skills that they've shown. But you know what? Maybe I'll enjoy it second time around. So yeah, Shaolin Soccer is my pick.
That was one of my picks.
Oh, see?
It
Already
shuffled
got
my list a bit.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next category we have is Netflix films. Where this does get interesting is a lot of these Netflix films, it's Netflix Canada, I should say, happen to also be foreign language films as well. So there's might be more crossover here. My pick is going to be Summer of '92. Is my first pick foreign film. The plot synopsis for that is super simple. It is... This movie follows the trials and tribulations of the Danish Euro 92 campaign. And I kind of don't want to talk about it anymore because that would spoil any sort of, if people don't know about it, it would spoil the drama of what happened in Euro 92, how Denmark even came to be at the tournament and what they kind of achieved at the tournament. So yeah. So Summer of '92 is my Netflix pick.
Oh, that's been on my Netflix list for a while now.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, it's been on my cycle past it all the time. Okay, so Mark, your Netflix pick.
So up next, I'm gonna have to look at the list again.
Oh, was this your? You would pick Summer '92 or?
No.
Okay.
So my next one. So this ticks off the category of Netflix and foreign language film for me. My movie is going to be All the Freckles in the World. This popped up when I was browsing Netflix, one of those autoplays. So yes, those autoplay trailers do work sometimes. And this is a story of a 13-year-old boy who falls for the most beautiful girl in school. And with some help from his friends, he will try everything in order to win her heart. So it has a lot of good reviews. It's a coming-of-age story, and you guys know I love those. I'm a sucker for those. And tying that in with soccer and kids just kind of having fun, and one of those like fun Mexican features. So
and set in the 80s or 90s or something, so it looks kind of cool.
So it'd be fun.
Okay, some interesting picks. Still a lot of variety here. This method is working somehow.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's either a sheer fluke or we were all thoughtful.
Yeah, a lot more variety than last season already. Like, I mean, we've got an Asian movie, we've got a Mexican movie, we've got Danish, an English, right? It's awesome.
Okay, Raghav. So your Netflix pick.
Interesting. So I'm going to also diversify a little bit, but not in terms of culture or region of the world. I'm going to hold it down for the women out there, and I'm going to pick Alex and Me.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically, the synopsis of this movie is Reagan Willis, a teenage football player, aspires to become as good as her role model, Alex Morgan, of course, as we know of women's U.S. women's football fame. She just had a baby, by the way, so congratulations to Alex Morgan. One day, Alex's poster magically comes to life and teaches her how to be truly determined. So that's the synopsis of the movie, and I am picking Alex and Me as the number 6 pick.
Cool. Awesome.
We had flirted with putting that at number 12 last season, so...
Yeah, because I guess part of the reason of including these Netflix videos, which we kind of didn't mention, is we can start to try and do like watch-alongs. So we have at least 3 guaranteed watch-alongs we could do with listeners over the course of the season, kind of.
And I don't think we haven't picked the order these are going in, but we might be able to tie that in with the NWSL final.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
coordinate with that.
Whenever that might be. Okay, next category, and a pretty sizable category, like there's a lot to choose from in here, is foreign language. Now, I already picked a foreign language movie in summer of '92, so I decided I didn't want to pick another one, and instead go to the wild card and see what the wild card will pick.
All right.
So I could share my screen with you guys if you want here.
Sure.
We'll trust you. We'll trust you.
Oh, no, the host has disabled screen sharing.
Host can also enable it.
Go on, then.
That's okay. We'll trust you. This is taking a while.
I have nothing to gain from picking it. Like, if some trash comes out, and I'm capturing it on my end anyway as well. So I used random comment name picker, and I'm just going to hit start and see what we get. Cycling through all the names. This is pretty exciting. And the movie we got is Winner, the Traveller. I have no idea what that is. Give me a sec and I will look it up. So our first ever wildcard in Matchday Matinee history. And I
should we give you veto powers to make a second pick?
And I can't find it on Google. So that means it's a foreign language film which has a weird name or something. And I've missed that. Let me see. We may have to say VO just because it's not showing up on this list.
See if it's on IMDb. If it has below a 2, we'll scrap it.
IMDb.com. This is the nature of wildcards. They're so risky.
What's that?
Traveler. If I had time, I would have included links for all of them, but this was a pretty big task as it was. Anyway. Oh, no, I found it. Le Traveller, starring Eric Cantona. No, that's not it. That's a TV show. This is... Give me one sec. That one?
The only on Matchday Matinee can the viewers hear or watch a movie that not even Google knows about.
All right. Scrap that. There's no such thing as The Traveller. We're going to pick another name.
All right.
Oh, hopefully this one is something that I can find on Google. My English Soccer Adventure. What the? I know what that is. It's terrible. So there, the wild card doing its best. It is a comedy following US superstar Keely Jones as she visits England to find out more about one of the oldest soccer teams in the world. When she gets there, she finds a club in turmoil and a manager on the brink. Brilliant.
Is that on
I have
Amazon
a
Prime?
feeling that's on Amazon Prime, yeah.
It's one of those ones that they just scoop up just to say they have more content, even though it's terrible.
Yeah. So that's terrible. That's a horrible pick.
The luck of the wild card.
The luck of the wild card. My English Adventure.
There you go.
Okay, Mark, your Netflix pick.
Oh, my Netflix pick was All the Freckles in the World.
Yeah, this is your foreign language.
Oh, sorry, foreign language pick.
This
Sorry,
is
my
going to
bad.
be my foreign language pick. And you guys are going to roll your eyes. I know Regav especially. So I'm going to throw a bit of a left field pick out there, and I'm going to go with Captain Tsubasa,
Ooh.
Europa
Okay.
Daikessen.
I had a feeling you were going to pick that because you
Yeah.
mentioned it like off air like a few weeks back when we were doing like end of the season. You said, "Had I heard of it?" And I was like, "Sort of." So yeah, I'm not surprised you picked it.
That was actually on my list. On my list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is it's a continuation of the actual anime series. It's a 1985 film that sees Tsubasa and his club head to the international stage to take on European contenders. It's pretty short. It's actually on YouTube. I think it's about 45 minutes. And I'm a big like comic anime nerd and stuff like that. So I couldn't pass this up. So Captain Tsubasa, Europa Daikessen, and if we like it enough, maybe we'll do all 4 feature films and the series on preceding Matchday Matinee seasons. So
That's it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So an animated and a foreign. Interesting. Ragav, what is your foreign language pick?
I'm really torn between at least 2 films right now. Really torn. Really torn. But what I am going to go for, I think I've made my pick. Men in the Arena.
It's at this point in the show that we have to go to the VAR bunker to tell you that unfortunately, it turns out Men in the Arena is not a feature film. Ragav has switched his pick to penalty, but we'd still recommend you watch Men in the Arena. Apologies for the confusion. None of us spotted that, which is why we had to go to VAR, check back on the video evidence, and find that, in fact, Men in the Arena, whilst it looks like a cracking film, is actually a documentary. Whilst Penalty isn't, and Penalty is available on Netflix, so get watching it.
It is a 2017 film. And it's the unforgettable story of 2 Somali national soccer team friends chasing their dreams in the face of impossible odds. Men in the Arena is a survival story, a human rights story, and a rare sports journey, principally shot and produced in Kenya, Somalia, and the United States. It captures the Somali story through the eyes of footballing friends bound by a shared dream to inspire their countrymen. what happens to them is nothing short of miraculous. So it seems like a very uplifting movie, something that's based on a true story. And it was also the official selection at the Heartland Film Festival and the St. Louis International Film Festival. So yeah, really looking forward to watching this one. And it seems like, it's going to be a good one as well.
Also a tier 1 ranked movie. So like you said, critically acclaimed. So yeah.
That's exciting. I don't think we've done any films from the African continent yet.
No.
We see a lot of documentaries from there, but rarely any feature films.
How can you forget? We saw a lot of Africa in United Passions.
Right.
Okay. So the last category is just picking anything that doesn't fall into any of these other categories. I'm kind of torn between one that's a little bit out there and one that's like a sensible pick. Let me think. We've got a lot of sensible films in here so far. Oh, we also got some weird films. Okay, I'm going to do it. It's the first horror film of Matchday Matinee. It is Goal of the Dead.
Yes.
Returning to his hometown for the first time since his big money move to the professional leagues, Sam Lorette expects a joyful homecoming and a routine cup game victory, but with a zombie outbreak fueling bitter rivalries, the players and their entourage are dragged into a brutal game for their lives.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for that.
It's something different. It looks ridiculous. Yeah, I have to pick it.
I think the timing may work out with that as well if we can do it around Halloween. So,
July. Yeah. That might work out well, actually. Yeah.
I had that in the back of my head, and I figured I'm already giving you guys Captain Tsubasa, so I better play it safe with some of the other ones. But that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, Mark, your last pick. Good one.
So I have two here.
I think I know which one you're going to pick, but let's see.
I don't know. I think you know which one of the two I want to pick. And I really want to pick it, but I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to pick When Saturday Comes.
When Saturday Comes.
So the interesting thing is that was the other one I was umming and ahhing about because it felt like a more traditional pick.
Yeah. So this is the 1996 film starring Sean Bean as Jimmy, who aspires to be a pro soccer player, but as a heavy drinker with a go-nowhere job at a local brewery, his dream of making the team for Sheffield United seems an unlikely one. So it looks like a really good like Cinderella type story where a local guy makes big. It's got Sean Bean. Hopefully he doesn't die in this one. I know he dies in every single other thing that he does. It's got Pete Postlethwaite, who is, I've never seen him be bad in something, so that should be good. And then on top of that, it's foreign in the sense that it almost sounds like a foreign language, but it actually is English. So I hope there's subtitles.
I get what you're saying, because
those accents,
they have thick Yorkshire accents in it.
Yeah, and I recommend not watching the trailer for this if you guys haven't yet, because the trailer gives you the entire storyline. So
I've seen this film before. It does. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. A lot of my family are from Sheffield. I think I've probably mentioned that before. And teasing fans, I have a Sean Bean story.
Did he call you a wanker or
nope?
Ginger?
It's not as controversial as that. It's slightly more interesting, I guess. I won't say too much. Okay, Raghav, you are rounding off this list with your last pick from the list.
This is actually the toughest category that I've had to pick because it's kind of, anything that's not curated by you.
Yep.
So two of these are about more fan culture. One of these is about a player and would make the most epic ending to next season. But you know what? I'm just going to do it. My number 12 pick, the last pick is going to be goal number 2.
Nice.
All right. Was your other pick Green Street?
No. My other pick was Fever Pitch.
Oh, okay. That would be good too. Yes,
I wanted to end it with One Night in Istanbul, just because.
Well, I'm surprised. I thought you might pick that, actually.
Yeah. But no, I think goal 2 is a good way to end off the season. Knowing that we ended off with goal 1 just this past season, it's a good continuity to the story. So I don't know if people haven't watched it, but the synopsis is basically that Kuno Becker's character, Santiago Munez, basically takes the next step in his career and gets transferred to Real Madrid, and the trials and tribulations of him being on that club and now actually being really big time. That's what the story is about. And yeah, it's interesting.
Joins the Galacticos, doesn't he? That era.
Galacticos, yeah. And a lot of cameos in that movie as well, but I don't want to ruin it. So we'll talk about it at the end of season 2.
Exciting stuff. So Raghav, you were writing down the picks as we picked them, right?
Yeah,
Do you want to read us off the list of 12 movies?
absolutely. So with the number 1 pick, Adam selected The Keeper. With the number 2 pick, Mark selected United. With the number 3 pick, I selected Shaolin Soccer. With the number 4 pick, Adam selected Summer of '92. Number 5, All the Freckles, picked by Mark. Number 6, Alex and Me, picked by me. Number 7 is My English Soccer Adventure, picked by Adam. Pick 4, Adam, by the wildcard system.
Yeah, let's get it right, yeah.
Number 8, probably the most surprising of the bunch, is Captain Tsubasa, picked by Mark, which is totally different than anything else we have on the list. Number 9 is Men in the Arena, picked by myself. Number 10 is Goal of the Dead, picked by Adam. Number 11 is When Saturday Comes, picked by Mark. And to round it off, number 12, the end of the season finale, is Goal number 2, as picked by me.
It's a nice list, boys.
That is an interesting list, and lots of films I think none of us have seen, so we're not going in with kind of any preconceptions of how this ranking might finish for the second season.
Yeah.
I'm going to apologize in advance to Chris Keem for not featuring Mean Machine again.
So I mean, I think a couple of people have asked for Mean Machine, and I was actually going to make that one of my first picks. It was between that, Football Factory, or Shaolin Soccer, but then because we had already picked 2 British films, I just picked Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah, I've had a friend really asking me to pick There's Only One Jimmy Grimble. I don't even know what that's about, but I just didn't want to pick it. So sorry.
In that foreign language category, Hermano looked very interesting to me. As did Offside. So Offside is a movie that I really actually wanted to feature on this program.
Which one? Because there's 4.
I think it's the 2006 one, which is about the Iranian that are not allowed to, or by law are not allowed to watch football matches, and just how they actually sneak into the stadium to watch. I think is something that I would like to do for sure in the future.
Maybe season 3.
Yeah, but Men in the Arena actually sounded very interesting, as it's really our first movie that features the African continent. And it's I won't say a rags to riches story, but it kind of seems like it's people trying to fulfill their dream regardless of, where they live, and doing it through football.
Mm-hmm.
Be good. My other one was I had Game of Their Lives as a far. It was a pick of pretty much everything else I had chosen was picked by one of you guys, but I'm glad I didn't have to go there because it looks like the rights are actually purchased by Phil Anschutz, the MLS kind of pioneer.
Oh no.
To use as a promotional vehicle for MLS, so it might have been like a United Passions type of deal.
Okay.
But the trailer looked good because I have the gold DVD and the trailer was on that. But it could have gone either way. But no, we got a really nice list, and we still have so many movies that we can pick from for future seasons.
Yeah.
A lot of hooligan movies. Green Street, Football Factory. One more that's not popping in my head. I think you named it, Rigo.
Green Street, Football Factory, Fever Pitch.
No.
Oh, there's The Firm as well.
The Firm. The Firm's another one.
Which is 2 versions. So, yeah.
Oh, and Cast as well, right? I think it was one of the.
Oh yeah, Cast is about one guy in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have a lot of movies to look forward to.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm genuinely excited to get watching some of these movies. I was half dreading this. I was like, we could end up with some crap, especially because I said let's do this wildcard thing, but it's kind of worked out okay, I think, with one exception. So, yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. Where can people find you, Raghav?
So I'm at Raghav Sandhu, both on Twitter and Instagram. Just my first and last name after the at.
Mark, where can people find you?
I'm at Mark A3 on Twitter, and then on Instagram I'm at A3 Football.
I'm Flameboy84 on Twitter. and Joypad Goalposts on Instagram. And don't forget to follow our Twitter account as well, Matchday Matinee. Let us know what you think of this list after you've listened to this episode. And until next week when we kick off with season 1, I'll see you guys later.